Bang! Neevesknives. I'm Jared, and we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Awesome. Let me put my light over here. Forgot something. There we go. How's everybody doing tonight? So I figured we would talk some knives and EDC gear, as usual, right? As usual. Now I want to show you guys something that the same person that built me my knife shelf over here, as you can see, built me another one for my rock studs. I have two rock studs, as you guys know, and shout out to Memers Anonymous, the new member again. Shout out to you, but he built me that. Oh, it's so badass. I wanted to throw it in a video and show you guys, but I couldn't get the video edited and done. I had to erase a bunch of stuff. I'm redoing it, but anyways, it is so gorgeous. There's one little problem with it, but doesn't matter. I'm very inclined with working on stuff. So I gotta either put another peg in the middle, or I'm gonna put rubber around these because the knives, this is my pegs over there are closer together. They're like this far apart, while this one's this far apart, and my rock studs aren't that big. So they fit. I can leave them there and they'll stay, but it's scary. Like it's not even the scary part isn't dropping a rock stud and scratching it. The scary part is what could happen to you if you drop a rock stud. I mean, when you talk about getting cut to the bone, I mean, like the one on that one. So if you guys don't know, I got hurt. I was putting the knives on there and I had these ones, and this is why I have all big knives on there, because this knife was a long knife, but wasn't necessarily a big knife. And I put it on there and I had them closed. I decided to put them on there closed because they fit closed. And when I put it on there, it slipped, fell down, and opened as it was falling and got me in the hand. And yeah, it fucked me up. So I'm always nervous around these. But with this one, with rock studs, yeah, it's not something you want to mess with. So I'm not going to put it there. I'm probably going to put it back here somewhere where it can't even be touched or bumped. But I wanted to show you guys, and yeah, I think it's awesome, man. And the guy who made that, I'm pretty sure I can give you guys his email if anybody wants to get anything custom made by him. He does custom work. He does amazing work, obviously. He also made my Neevesknives one up there. But it's Patrick Valley. You can find him on Patrick Valley at yahoo.com. Patrick Vallee at yahoo.com. Hey, Jared, still waiting on the Invictus testing review. I know you are. And I am. You know what's funny? It's funny you said that because where's it at? I've been testing it, and I do have the video coming very soon. I actually had a video recently, the one I was going to put up that I had to erase. And I talked about how I didn't want to say too much about it because I'm in the middle of testing it, and I don't want to say something and be wrong because sometimes during tests you start getting different feelings and thoughts, but I don't want to be wrong about anything, so I'm waiting for the full test. And there he is right there. What's up, Patrick? Love you too, brother. Thank you, man. Look at that thing. Like I said, I'm not going to leave it there. I am going to put it over here just because it'll be behind stuff. That way I don't have to worry about bumping anything. With this one, it's in the corner, so it's very easy to stay away from it. I got a bowl protecting it, so I don't really have to worry about bumping anything. Got a Tucson 301, too big for me. Just returned and just ordered a Civivi Sokoki. Seems like such a good knife. So the Sokoki is an amazing knife. I have one sitting here somewhere. I don't know where. Oh, right here. Bang. Yeah, the Sokoki is no joke. This is one of, if you know what, no, this is the best bang for your buck knife. Now, we could talk Tucson's, right? Tucson's would be your best bang for your buck overall, I think. Meaning to get the premium materials for the best price, Tucson, right? When we're just talking about the best bang for your buck, period, for budget knives, I would say, because that would be the best bang for your buck for premium knives. Best bang for your buck for budget knives is the Civivi Sokoki. This micarta I would expect to see on a Riyadh or something. And then the spear point blade has got amazing geometry, 14C, very, very neutral ergos, amazing action. Yeah, it's so damn good. Inset liners, the back spacer is micarta. These are available. You can get these, at least as far as I know. You can check out my my Amazon link. I think there's some on my Amazon link, or just go to my store, Neevesknives store, and you can just type in Sitivien Sakoki. It should pop up. Hey, Mom. I hope everyone's doing fine. I love you too, man. Mom, thank you for stopping in. So Sakoki is no joke. I'm surprised you didn't like the 301, though. The 301 is such a good one, man. Oh, Mike Emler. Thank you for the donation. Doing a giveaway tonight. There you guys go. Mike is doing a giveaway tonight. So if you guys are ready to win a Gerber, go over there to, I'm just joking. I don't know what he's giving away. Go check him out. That thing, wait, that thing turned out amazing. Oh yeah, hell yeah, it did. And it's I love the transition from the epoxy or whatever the you know the silver stuff is from the wood, like that transition, because you can see like some like broken parts of the wood were like seeped into. It looks so good. I am looking for a good sharpening system that won't break the bank. I've never sharpened a knife before and I am wondering where to start. Okay, so if you've never sharpened a knife before, I would say first, before you do anything, watch a lot of videos so you at least have an understanding of how to sharpen a knife, exactly what to do, what to look for. Because just because you have a sharpening system doesn't mean you're going to do a good job. You have to have an understanding of how to set a bevel, how to create a burr, and how to deburr. Those are the main things. But I would recommend the Work Sharp Precision Adjust. It's $50. Then what you can do is you can always add attachments to it later. Now, my number one pick would be probably like a KME for like $200, but that's $200. So you want something that's not going to break the bank, go with the Work Sharp Precision Adjustable. And then if you want to get aftermarket parts, you can always, you know, throw $20 in later, you know, $10, $15, $20 later and get different stuff. Now, that system is going to be great for you as long as you're using it for smaller knives. You're not going to be able to do fixed blades. Most fixed blades you're not going to be able to do. You're not going to be able to do chef knives or anything like that, but you can do little pocket knives, and that'll give you a good idea. And you can do good size pocket knives. So I'm not saying you can only do small knives. I'm just mean like you're not going to do machetes on it. But that's what I would go to. And I have many videos on that system, by the way. So go check out my videos on it. And then you can also check out the aftermarket attachments. Yes, that is my mother. That is my mother. I'm just going to email them to you, bruh. All right. Yes, it is a Ray Laconico design. Yes, it is. That is a Ray Laconico design. Such a good design. Ray Laconico does a really good job. And then Sitivien knocked this out of the park. They knock all their designs out of the park. So, I mean, really, if the design is good, I don't know if Sitivien could do a bad job. Like, of course, if the design isn't there. Now, some of the complaints I would have maybe from them is there's been some designs where they have poor lock bar access, but to me, that's the designer's fault. I work outside, literally right on the beach. Got any ideas other than Spyderco salt that will resist corrosion? Yeah, anything with LC200N. If you have the money, you can go with the new Kaiser, titanium Kaiser. Do I have one right here? Let me think. I don't think I do. I think I do actually. I just can't think of where it's at. But you can go with the Kaiser Drop Bear Titanium and LC200N. That's a good one for you. So you can go with that. Another one you could go with is the Spidey Chef. Another one you can go with is like this is going to get a little crazy, but you can go with any of the Terrain 365s that have the Teravantium. But like I said, I'm testing this right now, so I don't want to recommend it until I really fully do a test. But it's impossible to rust this whole knife. You can't rust. It's impossible because this is not steel. This is Teravantium. So but the thing is you have to put a toothy edge on it. So, Anyways, so you can go with something like that. The next one will be quiet carry, the quiet carry waypoint. That's Vanax. So yeah, there's a lot of options, Jason. The quiet carry waypoint's an amazing knife. Yep, there you go. Yeah, quiet carry drift or the waypoint, either one. Yeah, anything from quiet carry that has Vanax. Now they have other knives in M390 that are really good too. And M390 is a very stain resistant, especially if it has a stone wash or a satin finish. It's quiet. How about now? How about now? There we go. How about now? That's pretty good. It's a little bit louder for you guys. Is it too loud now? Drop Bear is such a great EDC. Yeah, it's one of the best knives of the year. They absolutely knocked it out of the park. I wish I had that titanium one sitting right here. Check out what I do got. I got the XL Kaiser Sheepdog. This is the new titanium version with a removable flipper tab. As you can see, you can remove this flipper tab. And yeah, it'd probably be extremely comfortable like that. But the way I see it is I have so much grip here. Do I really need to take it off? Not really. Look at this thing. Wham. It's like a guillotine. I just want to start chopping shit. But these things have amazing geometry. They cut so good. You know, the regular size one is my favorite one. This is a little obnoxious to carry around, but I still love it because, you know, just like any, like this, you know, right? This thing's a little obnoxious to carry too, but I love it, especially if I'm going to be in the woods chopping. Another one that's really good, and man, I got to give this one credit. The ST994 from Sitivien. This is a great bang for your buck. Titanium frame lock, and it's full titanium with a carbon fiber overlay. M390 steel. The M390 is probably pretty soft, but you'll still get the corrosion resistance from it, and it'll probably have edge retention similar to like S30V. But man, look at that action. The flipper tab is so comfortable. It's such a comfortable flipper tab. It just hammers out there. What about the best grit stones to go with the Workshop Precision, or are there good ones that come with it already? So you're going to get diamonds with that system. I do recommend getting the aftermarket stone holder attachment. I have videos on it. You can get them from Gritomatic for like 15 bucks. Then you can get any stones you want to put in there. The stones that'll come with it are going to be small, slim diamond plates. They'll work at first. They'll work just fine at first, but they'll wear out pretty quick just because they're so small. But if you do get the attachment, then you'll be able to get 1x4 stones, and you can get atomas, you can get Neevesknives, you can get whatever you want, and then you'll improve that system massively. So that's what I would go with. But go with diamonds though, because anytime you're using a small system like that, diamonds are going to be your best friend because you need a stone to cut. Like one of the problems, like with the Lansky, right? Lanskys are dope. They're great. But using the aluminum oxides on the Lanskys, it's horrifying. Like it takes so long to set a bevel. But once you throw diamond plates on the Lansky, they cut super fast. So retail, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. Retail for what? DMT makes 4-inch stones from 220 to 8,000 grit. Yep. There's a lot of companies. Like if you go to my Neevesknives, thank you, Todd. Bang, right there. Neevesknives store. I have all kinds of sharpening supplies in there. You can find that work sharp in there. You can find the stones I recommend. You can find the diamond plates I recommend, depending on your budget. Everything's in there. Yes, dog one. It is your fault once again. Somebody put him in timeout, please. Jared, how would that do for self-defense? This thing, I mean, I think anything can work for self-defense, but I don't know. It's a Tonto, so I mean, it's very pokey, and it does have a precision tip. I don't know about any slashing, but you can definitely do some poking. Unless if you're talking about this, I think this would be a chopper. You'd be chopping at people. I'd prefer something more pokey, but you know, use whatever you have on you. But I prefer more of a spear point or like a hawkbill or a Warncliffe for self-defense. But you know, you can use whatever works. Like even a Spyderco's blade shape will work really good for that. Yeah. The best thing you can do is just do training, you know, train under pressure, and just period. You don't even have to train under pressure, but it's the best to train under pressure, but train just period. Even if it's small stuff, like if it's dumb stuff, like just taking it out of your pocket fast, things like that, rapidly deploying it, spinning and getting into a different grip, just doing this little move. And I know this is dumb, but this also helps just like in life, just day-to-day stuff. Like when I was working, there'd be so many times where I'd have to spin and turn a tool, but just getting it out, flipping it backwards, pinch like this, so it's just pinch, and then spin, let it drop. Now you're in a reverse grip. It's very quick. I'll do it one more time. Flip, spin, spin, reverse grip. And when you get good at that and you can do that 10 times in a row without dropping it, which really you're not going to drop it, but then you have to go to this one, do the spin from the reverse grip. So go to the backward grip, go to the forward grip. Now, I'm not saying that that's practical in like a self-defense situation, but maybe it could be in certain situations, but it just gets you comfortable with your knife and gets you comfortable, just like with anything, right? With anything, if you're training with firearms and stuff, you should get good in the range. You should do the crazy stuff, shoot from the ground, shoot from the hip, all the things, because you never know what type of situation you're going to be in. And it's always going to be something you could never even imagine. So, hey, Jared, do you think the current outcry about HRC is overstated? Seeing so much M390 and 5090-61 is putting me off buying. So no, I definitely agree. I'm one of the people that definitely rave about HRC. Now, I don't think that if you see something 5090-61, I don't think you should just like not buy it. I don't think that. But I do understand that they'll never raise it to what we want as long as we're buying it. So what I would say is just, if you're looking for good steels and that's what you want, then go to the brands that have that, right? And then you can stay away from the other ones. Then maybe if a design comes up that you're just like, man, I have to have that, then go for it. You're still going to have it's still going to hold a good edge. They're still doing a good job with their heat treat, most of them. Not all of them. So let me be clear. I'm talking about the well-known brands, right? Like if we're just talking about some fucking weird company that uses numbers and weird letters as their name, who knows how their steel is? It might not even be heat treated. But when we're talking about the house name brands, or however that phrase goes, most of them are doing a good job with their heat treat. It's just some of them aren't running into a high HRC. So what you're going to do is you're going to sacrifice a little bit of edge retention. That's it. So instead of it cutting, say, 400 feet of cardboard, it's going to cut 300 or 325 or something. So you're still going to get good edge retention. It'll still take a good edge, but it's just when you're starting to spend the big dollars, that's when it starts becoming more important, in my opinion, because it's kind of like this, right? It kind of saddens me, but this hinder, right? This hinder, I love this hinder, but man, it pisses me off that this Magna Cut is so soft, because I know for sure, I know it's still fine and it'll still cut, it'll still take a good edge, but Magna Cut, when you get it at like 63, 64 HRC, the type of edges it takes is just like, it's so much better in my opinion, and it holds it for so much longer. But anyways, yes, I do think sometimes we get a little bit crazy with it and we might not need to all the time. And I do think some companies are justified sometimes in, what they are able or willing to do. But when you're talking about spending the big bucks, yes, try to find a company that reliably heat treats their steels at a optimal HRC for that steel. Otherwise, why are they using that steel? Why don't you use a different steel? Like, that's the part that I don't understand. Why are you using a steel that you can't heat treat at an optimal range? Just go to a different steel. You won't realize how big of a difference a good solid heat treat is until you get a knife with a damn good. That's so true. The difference is noticeable, especially if you sharpen. I would say two things. When you get a bad heat treat, and I don't mean like, I'm talking about like a really bad one. When you get a bad heat treat and when you get a great heat treat. Both of those, when you get to experience both of those, you realize, like, for an example, I had this knife from a well-known company, from a fucking damn good company. Well, a well-known company, USA. And the steel was so soft. It was, when I was sharpening it, it was like, instead of it cutting the steel, it was like it was mushing the steel. It was stupid soft. It was so soft that it would barely take an edge, because like when you got to the burr, right? When you brought the burr up, the burr just would not pop off. Like, and then getting it finally, when you got it to pop off, it would like take steel with it. Then when you started cutting with it, it would like go dull, like within like so fast. It was like, what happened? Like, this is not just like soft. This is like a bad heat treat. You know, it was more than just being soft. I've had gas station knives that I don't even know if they were heat treated, because I could not, like, they were a nightmare to sharpen. Everybody always asks me, what's the hardest steel you've ever had to sharpen? Gas station knives. Gas station knives are the worst because like they have no heat treat. But when you get a great heat treat, like when you get that good shit, man, it changes your perspective and you start chasing it. And that's why I scream about it so much, because I'm chasing it a little bit more, probably because I sharpen so much. So when I love an edge or a knife that it just takes such a clean, crispy edge. The bevel gets set nice and perfect, and because it has such a hard steel, that, you know, it's easy to set a nice flat bevel without convexing it very much. And then when you deburr it, the burr, it's like very little effort and the burr's gone. So, which makes it possible for you to get those crazy hair whittling edges. My Magna Cut Sabenza is so good. Yeah, I heard they're doing a good job with it. The heat treat is on point, holds an edge, sharpens up great, and with a few passes on the strop, it's back to splitting hairs. That's another thing with when it's really, really well heat treated. Even the stropping is better. The stropping experience. So it's better all the way around. It really is. Now, of course, because it's harder, it's going to take maybe a little bit more time on the stone. However, I think that what happens is actually the opposite. So, and what I mean is that when you're free, and this is specifically to freehanding, not for fixed angle system. If it's fixed angle system, the harder steel is going to take a little bit longer, but it's going to take a better edge, and you're going to get a lot better experience. Everything will be better. But when you're freehanding, when you deal with a soft steel, it's like you're mushing the steel more than cutting it. So even though the harder steel takes a little bit longer, technically, because the other steel is soft, it takes longer because you're so busy chasing. Like you're chasing your scratch pattern more. You are making what's it called? You're making imperfections from changing your angle so much because it's more mushy than really cutting. But the hard steel, it's just like it's cutting so fast. The bevel is able to set nice and flat. So now you can easily feel the bevel, you know, and find it better. It's just there's so many little tiny details when it comes to sharpening and then steels, and yeah, it's crazy. What do you think of a Saab PM60? I don't know about that one, bud. I haven't tried it. I don't care about heat treat. I just want the next hype item for cheap. There you go. I once had a CRKT and HCR, and it sharpened for over an hour. Trying to get the burr off, I felt like a loser. I've definitely had that. Jared is what I need in the EDC community to call out the underperformers taking our money. I try, I do my best. Seriously, why is we using 20 CV 58 to 60 charging 350 for a knife that should be in the 14? You know, I agree, but I also understand, right? So take it from their point of view. And I mean, really, really put yourself in their shoes. And listen, I call it out. So regardless of what I'm about to say, I still call it out. So don't take me wrong. But from a business perspective, they know M390 sells. Right now, you can get M390 fairly cheap compared to before, right? Obviously, it's going to be more expensive than other steels, but it's going to be a little bit more cheaper. They can run it, and people want it. People like seeing it. They feel good when they see M390, right? Or 20 CV. They feel good when they see it. Now, the reason why supposedly, and let me be clear, somebody recently said that they're supposed to send me pictures. I'm not positive if they're gonna or anything, but they said that they tested 5 of them, the same knife, and they all came over 61. So they were like 61.8, 61.4, something like that. That's good news. Now, they're coated blades. The reason why they're softer supposedly is because in order for them to get the coating on there, somebody else explained this to me. So in order for them to get the coating to bake, because they have to bake it on, it messes with the heat treat and it lowers the HRC a little bit. But originally, when it first goes in there, it is at 60, 61, something like that. But it softens up a little bit from putting the coating on there. So with that being said, they are charging. I know we look at it like, oh, it's $350, it's $300, 350, however much. But in reality, what we're getting, and really, guys, understand this. We's quality is it's up there, right? Ria obviously is a little bit higher, but they're giving us such good quality. Like, go to a custom knife maker. Go to a custom knife maker and get that level of quality. It's going to cost you like $2,000, and I'm not exaggerating. Go to a custom knife maker. You'll get that good heat treat. You'll get that, but the fit and finish in many cases won't even be close to what they're able to get. Not even close. Like the tolerances, the fit, the finish, the action, all that stuff. Some companies are doing it really good, but a lot of them, man, even though they're custom makers and they put their heart and souls into it, and I think that's awesome. There's never going to be able to compete with somebody like who is just being super consistent overall, right? Obviously, there's going to be some inconsistencies, but overall, they do a damn good job. So, considering the work they put in, the heat treat, it's like, yeah, they might be running it a little bit softer, but why? Why would they do that? Now here's the catcher. Because in order for them to do it at a higher HRC, they make a couple risks. One, they risk problems like breaking, shattering, things like that, like just running it too hard. I'm not saying that that's very practical, but they run a little bit more of a risk. The next thing is it's going to take them longer to grind. So now they're going to waste more belts and spend more time on the grinder. Now, some people would argue, so raise the price 10, 15 bucks, right? And I would say that too. Yeah, raise the price a few bucks. But I kind of understand where they're coming from, where they're trying to pump out as many as possible. They're trying to do OEM work all over the board to all these companies, and they need to be able to pump them out. And they probably have a recipe down pat where this is like the most consistent they can get in this HRC. But when they go up a little bit higher, maybe they start getting little problems and stuff. Because for a custom knife maker, it's easy for them to do a higher HRC because they're not doing 200-300 knives at a time. Anyways, I can kind of understand it. Of course, I call it out. Of course, I bitch too, but I kind of understand why some companies are maybe not running it as hard as they possibly could. But I still want them to. You know what I mean? I still fucking want them to. And I say this to you guys, but you guys see in the videos, I always call it out. Samir with the 5 bones. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Atoma, DMT, and Ultra Sharp. Which is good, better, and best of the 3? Atoma's the best. DMT and Ultra Sharp are the same. Some people try to say DMT is better. I don't think so. I think they're basically the same. Ultra Sharp you can get more affordably. Here's the kicker. DMT is made in the USA. Ultra Sharp's made in China. You can get the Ultra Sharp for 3 plates, for 3x8 plates, 300, 600, 1200 for 138 bucks. You'll spend $200 from DMT, but you'll get 4 plates. So Atoma's the best though, but Atoma's also the most expensive. So you just got to pick your poison. But Ultra Sharp's really good. I got them linked. Those are my number 1 recommended diamond plates are Ultra Sharp for the best bang for your buck. They're really good plates. They're single-sided plates. Atomas, though, are the all-time best because they're so aggressive. The diamond, they use clusters instead of like the diamonds aren't just spread across the plate. They're in little clusters. And yeah, they're real. Actually, I got one right here. Go figure. I got one right here for you. You can see that they use it's clusters of diamonds. Don't mind the steel, but just see how it's little clusters. Now, Ultra Sharp, here's an Ultra Sharp. It's just diamonds spread across the surface. Like it's not clusters. I know it's dirty from steel, but you know, these are all diamonds. So, and this one is a 300 grit. But you see how much more aggressive this one looks, the Atoma. And it is. It's a lot more aggressive. And it's 140 grit. The other one's 300 grit. So, oh, what's up? Brian's in the house. Shout out to Seems Logic. Or sorry, I seen him. He wrote that. Shout out to Transparent Knives, Brian. Definitely go and check him out on Instagram. I actually was talking about him in a video. I recently did a video. I actually deleted it. I keep talking about it because I put a bunch of work into this video, but I'm redoing it because I wasn't happy with it. But I'm going to redo it, and it's going to be really good. And then right now, I'm just trying to let the weather clear up a little bit. We're flooded. But I'm just trying to let the weather clear up just a little bit because I got to do the sword video. And man, it's just, man, every time I turn around, it's something else. But that one's going to be a good video. I've always wanted to be a celebrity, but I can't decide which knife I need to carry in big rooms around these lunatics. Now I'm a knife addict. Yeah, I mean, I would say, if you're going to be a celebrity carrying around a knife, I would say, pick something reputable, right? You don't want to pick something USA made, reputable, or if it is going to be overseas, make sure it's like Riyadh or something. But yeah, I'd carry something special, like a Rockstead, maybe even like an OTF, like a Hawk Deadlock. That'd be cool. Hey Jared, I wanted to run this by you. I just received my new Maverick from Tactile, and the blade's edge was very uneven. Would you send it back and request a new one or resharpen it yourself? I would resharpen it myself. That's me, though. Not everybody's me. I usually recommend, because you guys got to understand, I almost never return knives. It's very rare I return a knife, even if it's bad. I'm 99% of the time, I'm going to just fix it myself, unless if it's something I can't fix myself. With a bevel, that's the least of your problems. If you have a knife that comes with an uneven bevel, that's the best case scenario for problems, because it's not going to affect the cutting. It's not going to affect even the sharpness. It's not really affecting. It's just visual. Most of it is just visual, and it's fixable. You just resharpen it. Now, if the grind is uneven, that's a different story. It's not going to affect it very much as far as cutting or anything like that, but it'll be nearly impossible to make it perfect on both sides matching if the grind is uneven. Like if one side is thicker than the other side and they're not the exact same, which you'll see a lot on custom knives. Like you'll see a lot of custom knives where like the edge bevel, you'll see it's like wavy. Sometimes it'll go from and I'm talking about the edge bevel itself. It'll be big, then small, then back to big, then big at the tip or something. And it's just a grind change. But I personally would just resharpen it. I love seeing YouTubers pointing out the BS, because if not for that, companies would continue to try and sneak us. Yeah, but you know what? You got to give the companies credit, because a lot of them, not all, but a lot of them are willing to send their stuff out into the fire. Do you know what I mean? Like they're willing to send their knives to us, knowing that they have a good chance I'm going to critique it. And let me tell you guys, I've had many people not send stuff. Like I'm not gonna say any names, but like I even had somebody who was about to send me stuff, then found out like that. I don't know if it was just because they found out I was going to be honest, or they seen kind of what happened with Liang Ha, and then they just refused. But it's part of the game. So with the companies that are willing to send the stuff, give them credit, man. Give them credit, because they're willing to have you criticize them. They're willing to have them dragged through the mud, and and in many cases they it only helps them and they improve it, which is awesome. And that's what I like to see. I love to see a company that's willing to put their knife on the line in order to make it better, because that takes balls. It takes balls to put your heart and soul into something and then send it to somebody to just drag it in order to make it better. And I'm not saying I'm dragging them. I'm just saying it's the possibility, right? And you have the possibility that everybody who's going to buy it is not going to buy it now because of whatever the said problem is. However, it gives them the ability to make it better. Can we also have a grit rating that is just a micron size of the abrasive instead of random grit ratings of different measurements, please? So we use grit rating here, but you can always boil it down to micron size if that's how you want to look at it. But most companies don't even really say the microns; they usually say the grits. As far as like here and China and stuff, Russia, Russia is the one who does. They use what is it? A J rating? Am I right about that? I think. Or no, is it Japan uses a J rating. Russia uses an F rating. And we use a G rating. So it just depends on what part of the world it's coming from. But we all deal with microns. So that's why microns is the most consistent, because micron is going to be, just it's going to be the size. Like with the F rating and J rating and G rating, it's going to be different numbers for the same thing. With micron, it's just, the measurement of microns or whatever. If you were to buy a work sharp as a beginner in sharpening, would you get the precision adjuster or the belt sharpener? I'd get the precision adjust. I would only get the belt sharpener if you're going to be doing machetes, fixed blades, chef knives, things like that. I wouldn't get it if you're going to do folders. Now, if you're going to fix damaged blades and stuff, the belt sharpener is good, but a stone is always going to give you a better edge than a belt. Always. Always, always, always. You will always get a better edge on a stone. Now, if you don't know how to sharpen, right, and that's a different story. But considering you halfway know how to sharpen, then you're going to get a better edge on a fixed angle system. Now, even if you don't know how to sharpen, and if you learn, a fixed angle system is going to give you a better edge on a belt, because you can ruin your edge really fast on a belt, like really fucking fast. You think you'll hurt your edge on a fixed angle system? Fuck around with a belt one time, because it cuts fast. One of the things I'd like to see more from companies is a better sharpening tool and plunge grind. You know, I do too. I see so many knives I want to buy, but when I see the lame sharpening tool, it turns me away. So me, what I focus on is whether or not I can cut my own choil in, because if I can cut my own choil in, then when I do sharpen it and I do create a smile, I know I can fix it. That's the way I look at it. What I don't like is when I can't fix it, because they have made it impossible for me to cut in a choil. How much extra? Josh, thank you for the 5 bones. How much extra on average would you say is fair to upgrade the steel to Damascus steel on a knife? Also, general opinion on Damascus steel. So Damascus steel is RWL 34. I think Damascus steel in many cases is overpriced. However, it is the best Damascus. So when we talk about Damascus steels, a lot of Damascuses are shit. Absolute fucking garbage. And like when you see and I'm not trying to throw a country under the bus, but when you see the Pakistani steels, when you see it's like Pakistani Damascus, that shit is garbage. Garbage, garbage, garbage. Now, there's going to be some really good Damascuses out there from some well-known, reputable Damascus makers, but the best is going to be Damascus steel. And the reason why is because it's powdered steels mixed into one billet. So it's one solid steel, basically, even though it has the patterns of Damascus. It's still Damascus, but it's powdered steel Damascus. So the billet is one solid piece. So it's like you're sharpening one, just a single steel. With Damascus, in many cases, you have the layers of the different steel, and you have softer areas, harder areas. One of the steels hardens differently than the other. So, and then a lot of times they don't hold an edge very well, or they don't take an edge very well. But Damascus steel is good. It's good to go. It's great. It's amazing. However, yes, it's expensive. Do I think it's a reasonably priced, and how much do I think it's good to go over? It depends on you, man. So, okay, hear me out. Recently, some of the companies have been doing a 9CR powdered Damascus, which is really good. Sitivien, right? Sitivien Damascus is great. It's amazing. I even seen an edge retention test where it was close to like S35 edge retention, which is crazy because it's a 9CR Damascus, but it's a powdered steel Damascus. So it's very, very similar to the Damascus steel process. But Damasteel is Damasteel, which is it's a name brand. So it's it's their brand. And it's expensive. It costs more. It costs more to buy, and it costs more for them, so it costs more for them to sell it. So in many cases, no, I don't think it's like when they charge you like $300 more for Damascus or Damasteel, no, I think that's ridiculous. They're just charging. It doesn't cost that damn much, right? So I'm sure it's more expensive than maybe some of the other steels, but not to the level of which they expect to buy it from. But if you love the look of it, and that's the look you're looking for, and you have the money, go for it. Now, if you don't have the money and you love the look of it, go for the powder steel 9CR Damascus. That stuff's good. How much blade wobble does the Kershaw Iridium have? Thinking about buying one to give Kershaw a chance. I'd stay away from it. So I hate to say it, man, but like Kershaw has some good shit, but man, mine has so much play, like it doesn't even make sense. Like I can't get it out either. Like you can't tighten the pivot enough. It just doesn't tighten up enough. So I would say if you want a good solid crossbar lock, go for Kaiser's Drop Bear or Kaiser's Escort. Those are really solid. But yeah, I like Kershaw, but that knife, great knife. I like the knife, love the style, love the design, love a lot of things about it. But personally, for mine, I mean, it's a lot of play. I wonder if I have one right here. I thought I had one right here. Maybe. Oh, you know what? This one isn't that one, but do I have that one right here? No, it's not that exact one, but here. Like this one's not even as bad as the Iridium or whatever, but like, and I can't tighten it. And then it also has up and down. This one, the detent is good on this, but same thing. It's got play. It's got up and down. So, and like the aluminum one I have, the Iridium or whatever the name is, that one's the worst. It's the best knife of them. It's the best looking, best materials, best everything except for being solid. It's not solid at all. I don't know why. But yes, lots of wobble. Wobble. Love the laser strike, even though it cut me down to the bone a couple months ago. It's got a serious edge from the factory. Damasteel is particular. Wait, Damasteel in particular is good. I've heard really good things about guys like Chad Nichols as well. In general, I avoid it unless it's artisan's piece or a budget with 9CR. Right. And that's what I do, the same thing. I stay away from it unless if it's because Artisans and Sitivien powder steel Damascus, it's basically the same stuff. There's a couple other companies that are doing it too, which is they're all getting it from the same company, so it's good to go. But as far as Damascus goes, Chad Nichols Damascus is supposedly really good. I've sharpened it up a few times. I've sharpened up so much Damascus that was absolute garbage that it makes me look at Damascus a different way. And I'm not saying all Damascus is bad. I'm not putting it all in a bucket. But when you've sharpened like 20 or 30 knives in Damascus where it was like straight trash, it makes you look at it differently, right? So that's why with me, the only stuff I recommend or like for my own collection is if it's Damasteel or if it's that powdered 9CR. Because the other stuff, even like with Chad Nichols, like I wouldn't want to spend the money on it and be upset. Now it's beautiful stuff. And I know like even CRK, Chris Reeve Knives, they have supposedly some decent Damascus. I don't know if it's actually any good or not. I've heard mixed bags, I guess. I've heard some people say it's garbage. I've heard some people say it's good. I can't speak from experience with it. How far back am I? Oh, I'm not too far back. Hi, Jared and chat. Was wondering if you heard anything on Tactile and the Maverick. My waiting list number hasn't changed for a week now. Well, your waiting list number is going to be, I think, what it is, right? It's just when your number's up. But no, I haven't heard anything. I know they're trying to, get them done as fast as possible. I personally, I think it would be awesome if they did something about the play. I wish they could just revisit their lock face geometry and figure it out where they could get rid of the play. Because I personally don't think that that's a good excuse from them to say that crossbar locks are just that way. That's not true. Now, granted, yes, from some companies it is that way, as an example, right? But I have other companies that are rock solid lockup. So, and I've tried multiples like this one, CMB. This is 65, 70 bucks, 70 bucks. And it is a vault. I mean, absolute vault. So, and I've had two of those that were that solid. So it's not like that's just a one-off. But and Kaiser's the same way. Like I've got a Kaiser, one of the Kaisers, the drop airs where it's starting to get a little bit, but I just got to change the Omega springs and it'll be back to good. If you can push up the crossbar, this is the thing. If you can push the crossbar up, right? Push it up and still feel the wiggle, you'll never get rid of it. But if you can push it up and then it goes away, then you know, oh, stronger Omega springs will make it better. Yes, that was the CMB Predator. Solid knife, man. Such a good knife. I mean, the D10 is super solid. I love, and this is a personal thing, but and a lot of people might not like this, but the Omega springs are like the strongest Omega springs I've ever felt. When you pull this down, I mean, some people might not even like how strong they are right at first, but I like it because it tells me, one, the detent is strong. Two, my lock is always going to be pushed up there nice and strong. Since I've dealt with so many Hogues and Benchmades where they feel like soft, like when I disengage it, it's almost like just nothing to pull it down. So it makes me feel like it's not pushing enough pressure up onto the bar to make it solid. With this, I never worry about that. This fucker's got lots of pressure. I also think it's BS that they put you on 4,000 people wait list, then drop some to dealers before making for their list. Well, they have, come on. They have companies that that they're supposed to try to fulfill and try to make happy. They want to work with companies as much as possible because what you're looking at is short term. They're looking at it for long term, right? They want that relationship with these companies. And I understand that, right? I understand that they want a good relationship with companies. And, it's just like even like Microtech with the MSIs, and stuff like that. All the companies with all these knives. So, you can't blame them for that. They're in a business to make money and they need to make, these dealers happy too. But I get it though, man. It sucks being on a waiting list. Facts. And hey, what a beautiful thing, right? What a beautiful thing that we live in a capitalistic country. Jared, did you see the White Mountain Knives Kaiser Drop Air exclusive? I don't think I did. White Mountain Knives. Let's see. It's the same one I got, so that's not it. Is it a red one? Oh, red. It's got an error, so can't look at it right now, but I think it's red micarta. Or is that not it? I don't know. Or is it the fat carbon fiber one? I don't know which one it is, but they're all awesome. Anthony, thank you, man. What's up, Jay? Sitting here looking at the Spartan Harsey folders with engraved titanium scales with S45 steel. No Spartans in my collection yet. Thoughts? I would say two things. Did you get to try mine at Blade Show? Because if you got to try mine at Blade Show, this might go differently. One, I think you did. One thing, I recommend going and getting a regrind because it's thick. It's thick. Like when you get it, you're gonna be like, "Whoa, this is some thick geometry." It's made to be tough on, right? So one thing, if you want it to be a nice cutter, you're gonna have to get a regrind. But not saying you have to. You could just lower back your edge angle. Anyways, but you have to know that. The next thing you have to know is it doesn't have bearing action. It's a... Do I have it over here? It's a washer action, so it's more like a Chris Reeve. So it's not just, you just don't expect it to be like a fidget knife. Yes, it breaks in. Mine is broken in very, very smooth. And if you polish the washers, it gets very, very smooth. But that's more of an overbuilt tank of a knife. So if you're looking for a solid, no bullshit knife, something that would, last an apocalypse, that's the knife to go with. I love mine. Personally, I freaking love it. So, but I understand that some people, it's not their cup of tea. Just because it's, it's too robust. Uh, I I hate the idea of buying Chinese knives, but why wouldn't you? US is only good for certain collectors. Thank you, Mom. Love you. I'll talk to you later. I just seen that. Your son and his wife are two people my wife and I want to get together with. Hopefully, one of these days we can. I'd love to too. Um, does anyone else get excited when it's story time? Well, we got about 30 minutes. Opinion on Vanex. Looking at the Kunwu knife, Vanex is awesome. So I love Vanex. I don't have a lot of it. I have 3 knives in it. I think. I think something like that. I've had a bunch in for sharpening and stuff, but it's a great steel. I wish we've seen it more. I know I think it's more expensive for companies to buy, and I don't think there's as much out there, so it's a little bit more difficult for companies to get. But I would love to see it on more stuff. I appreciate the donation. Thank you for the 2 bones, Josh. But yeah, I love it. I love Vanex. It takes a really good edge. It holds it really well. You don't have to worry about corrosion at all, which is awesome. Um, the edge factor. American knife companies have a way better warranty, plus it helps us get better, not them. That is true. That is a very true thing. Yes. When you buy US, you're supporting US companies, you're supporting US families. The warranties are better. It's easier to get a hold of the companies. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't some great overseas companies that do a great job with their warranty, because there is. And in some cases, they're even easier to get a hold of than some USA companies, maybe. And they take criticisms better, which is a huge thing, right? Um, but anyways, I still say, yeah, support US as much as you possibly can. USA all the way. Be patriotic about it. If you can spend the money and you can buy USA, do it. Support companies. There's a lot of them. It's not like there's no companies, right? It's not like you're only dealing with one or two. There's a lot of companies that are USA companies. And then there's also a lot of knives that are made overseas but are USA designed. And I mean, like, literally, when you buy it, it is supporting a USA person. You're supporting not only maybe the company that you're purchasing it from, like Blade HQ, GP Knives, Knife Center, stuff like that, and their families, but you're also supporting the designer. Like, you can name 1,000 of them. So USA, in many cases with those knives, is getting over 50% of the money. And that's something that a lot of people don't understand. They think, like, just because you buy an overseas knife that all the money's going over there. That's not true. Only about, like, I think like 45% of the money's going over there. Like, anywhere between 50 and 58% stay in the USA when it's a USA designer sold at a knife dealer in the US and blah, 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 blah. USA all the way. Let's see here. Thanks for the suggestions. I reached out to 1791 EDC and they are sending me a pouch and a belt to review. Very cool. Yeah, and they do great work. Great work. I got one right here. I got a couple of them actually. But yeah, no, they do amazing work. Very thick leather. I'm surprised how affordable they're able to get these for how robust these are. Like I said, these are even more robust than my Tale of Knives one. I think I like the Tale of Knives one better. Because some things are just too robust, right? I'm not saying this is too robust, but it's on the verge. Look at how thick this thing is. It's on the verge of being too robust, but you gotta love it, man. It feels good. It's kind of like having a nice holster, you know. For every Chinese knife I buy 4 made in the USA. Talking Chinese knives, just pulled the trigger on the Wee knife Sakshi. Sorry, any thoughts on the knives? The Sakshi's dope. It's an affordable knife it's a great bang for your buck. Which one did you get? I have the JG10 one. It's great. Titanium liner lock, Comes in a couple different handle materials, 20 CV, like 160 to 180 bucks. Great action. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Wish Australia had more knife companies, but I'm only aware of half-breed knives. Don't know about the quality. Yeah, I don't know too much about half-breed knives. I've heard they were good, but I don't know. I haven't tried. I need to try more of them. I don't know if I've had any on the channel or not. A good sheath needs to be a little thick. I personally prefer leather sheaths. I mostly prefer both. So I think it just depends for me. Like certain knives, I want it to be a Kydex sheath. And then certain stuff, I want it to be a leather sheath. It just depends. But Kydex is, it's nice and durable. There's a lot of reasons why Kydex can be better than leather. And then there's sometimes when leather is. Chinese knives quit making sense over 70 bones. See, I kind of disagree with that. And the reason why is because, like, say the Sharp Eye designs, right? Where are you going to get this level of quality? Especially a Brian Nadeau design, something this level for $400. You're not going to get it from the USA. Not this level. Like, think about it. Brian Nadeau knives. How much do Brian Nadeau knives cost? Because these are just as good as his knives. They're just made overseas. So to get a Brian Nadeau, what are you talking? $1,000, $2,000, $2,500? But it just depends on what you're looking for, right? Like if you're not into that stuff and you're looking for a work knife, yeah, I agree. I would say over 70 bucks, just buy USA. It's over $100, not 70, over 100, because there really isn't any good USA knives under like $115. $115 is where USA made knives start. We knives are top tier Chinese. I just saw one going for over 700. What a joke. If they will adjust or be gone and selling their other brands only soon. But see, those $700 knives, like the $600-700 ones, the ones with the Damascus, the ones with the Damascus steel and stuff, they sell. They fucking sell. So people like them and they do well. That's why they make them. Trust me, they wouldn't be making Damascus steel with fat carbon fiber and all that shit for $600-700 if nobody ever bought them. They almost always sell. They might be the last ones to sell out, but they still always sell. I could give less of a shit about Chinese knives, but spent over $1,200 on 2 sets of 15V Sprint Spydercos without a second thought. Yeah, that 15V is fire, ain't it? Takes such a nasty sharp edge. I guess I have particular taste and strong opinions. I do too. Trust me, I do too. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but I definitely have particular taste. But I like a little bit. I like a little bit of everything. But what I like and what I like for the channel are two different things. You know what I mean? Like there's things that I really love that are my style, and then there's things that do very well for the channel and I know are good for the people or good for the community, things like that. And then there's the both, right? The mixture. And then I have very strong opinions on like certain things on, from USA knives, Chinese knives, and things like that. So I have very strong opinions about it myself. I agree. A nice USA knife starts at 120. Para 3 lightweight comes to mind. Great first knife. Yeah. Yeah, I would say the Benchmade Griptilian are the ones where they start the Mannix, right? The Mannix FRN one. I think it's BD1N that it starts with, I think. Something like that. Tucson TS380 comes chipped from factory. Blade hits the inside of the backspace or shutter turn. Yes, because you can't fix that. Mine did not. Mine's solid. Mine doesn't hit at all. But yeah, that sucks. You can try sharpening it and see if okay, so check the chip. How deep is the chip? If the chip is like it's right there and it's like one sharpening, it will be gone, then just sharpen it. But if it's like that's a good chip, it's gonna take like 5-10 sharpenings, then yeah, return it. I have the S90V Mannix with Burled G10. I have over 400 and an excellent knife. The Mannix is one of my all-time favorite knives. I love it. Glad to see Super Steel Steve now supports the review and recommendations of Chinese-made knives. I don't think he does. I don't think he does. But well, I don't think he will ever support that. But you know, to each their own. He's still my buddy, and I still love him, and I know you know, he's a good dude, and I know he means very, very well, and he only wants the best for this community and for the people in it. And he has very strong opinions on it, as I do, you know, and we might disagree on a few things, but 99% of everything we do agree on. You know, I have one little part where I think that I know there's a lot of USA people that want to be involved in knives, and it's impossible for them to do it without being a custom knife maker, and they have a little window to get in, you know, whether they wind up becoming a knife maker in the future or anything. Some of them just want to be designers or whatever, or dealers and blah blah blah, and in that case they need to do that, and it does open up the arena for more money, right? Then more USA people can make more money, because if you narrow it down to only custom knife makers and only the big USA companies, that's a lot of money that would not be going to the USA if not for a lot of the guys who are going overseas. Do you know what I mean? Like, because they wouldn't be able to do them, so they wouldn't exist. Man, am I blurry? Anyways, and those knife makers did not pick that stupid government. No, and some of them are just knife guys too. You know, some of them are just fucking knife guys. They don't, you know, it sucks, man. We don't pick our government. They didn't. Well, I mean, we do pick our government, but they definitely don't pick theirs. Oh, I hate to laugh about it, but yeah, but that's where it gets sticky, right? It gets sticky because you don't want, how do I say it? Their money, they are our enemy, right? Not the people, but the government, and the people are going to fight for their government. So they are our enemy, and that's a fact. So don't forget that. That is the enemy. Now, I do believe in barter systems and stuff. So like with me, I believe even if I have a neighbor that's my fucking enemy in my neighborhood, right? I'm still going to be cordial with him in order to keep peace, right? So I understand that, you know, in a worldly sense too, but don't be mistaken. They're our enemy. What grit do you recommend sharpening? BD1 and 2. Medium grit. Medium grit. I've done it to find edge. I never did like a controlled test with a fine edge or anything, but medium grit always does good on every steel. Some steels do good with a fine edge, but all steels do good with a medium grit edge. But let me be clear. Some steels do better with a fine edge, but some steels don't do good with a fine edge. And all steels do good with a medium grit edge. Just some will do better with, you know, a fine edge. Just like some do better with a coarse edge, but they all do okay with a medium grit. I have a Bagwell Hell's Belly Buoy. Are you fucking with me? A Bagwell Hell's Belly Buoy made by Ontario Knives USA, but it got discontinued. I suspect Bill Bagwell was approached about having it made in China, and he said, no way. Jared for president. Yeah, right. I'm a felon. Good luck with that one. I don't know, Ken. I don't know. I actually heard, I don't know how true this is, but like I was listening to somebody the other day about all the politicians that are felons and this and that. And it's like, what? Like you would never think so many of them have so many criminal records and are so in debt or so this, so that. It's crazy. How many of them have DUIs and shit? It's nuts. But hey, yeah. What's your absolute favorite knife in your collection? I can't answer that. That's too tough, man. I can tell you like what knife I recommend the most and like, but yeah, I would have to say like a top 20 because I can't pick it's like picking like your favorite kid. you know, and you'd hate to piss the other one off. They'll never forget it. What's the range of medium grit? I say 600 to 800 grit is medium grit. So I say anything over 800 is a fine edge. So, okay, so 300 to 500, I would say, is a coarse edge or a toothy edge. Well, they're all toothy. Let me be clear. All the way up to like 800 grit is toothy, or maybe even 1,000. But 300 grit to like 500 grit, I would consider a coarse edge. 600 grit to 800 grit, I would consider a medium grit edge. A 800 to 1200 grit, I would consider a fine edge. And then 1200 to 2000 grit, I consider an ultra fine. And then over 2000 is a polish. That's how I look at it. The crossbar in the Hogue Deca, the same size as the Benchmade's bug. I'm thinking of getting an afterglow crossbar, but it's for the bug out. I like the bug out. I like the Deca. I think the Deca is a little bit more solid, especially if you get the original goat scales. Get the original goat scales. If you have a Hogue Deca, get the goat scales. Use my discount code down in the description. It is so worth it. OCD for EDC. Shout out to OCD for EDC. Definitely go and subscribe to his channel. He also has a store online where you guys can get CMEs for your Spyderco's compression locks. He's got Slick 'em All, which is a knife pivot lube. He's got all kinds of stuff. Definitely go and check out his store. What's the name of his store? OCD for EDC. Go and check him out and subscribe to his channel too. And then there is my damn link. Thank you, Todd. You are the man. I appreciate it. Oh, shit. He came in hot with the 10 bones. Thank you, man. I appreciate the donation. Appreciate all the help. Thank you. Thank you. Now definitely go over there and subscribe to him. This wait, this will only make tea more powerful. Nobody is on our side. Only Jesus Christ will fix what's coming. Good Lord. I've got a Guardian Tactical Recon 035 on the way. I've heard they have some of the smoothest switch action in the OTF game. Thoughts? So, I mean, the best is going to be G&G Hawk, the Deadlock. That's going to be the best. But there's a bunch of companies that do a really good job, from Axial, Hogue. Even Hogue has a really good OTF. Their new OTF in Magna Cut is fire. They did a hell of a job with it. I would even say there's like my Tecto, which the parts are made overseas and then they're assembled here in the USA. So they're supposedly 51% USA, so they're kind of USA made, but they're really good too. Yeah, there's a bunch of really good ones. I'm just not the biggest OTF fan because I just can't carry them as much as I can regular knives. And I also, not that I don't like OTFs, because I do. I love OTFs. But man, I really love a manual action. The manual action knife is just the best in my opinion. I love a good manual deployment. You know, it's just me. I love it. Sorry about that, guys. A good manual action is the best. Destroying the letter T is the most dastardly of crimes. What does that mean? Huh. 2,000 years and still waiting. Okay. Yes, there is the link. Thank you, Kyle. There is the link to go check out OCD for EDC. You can make it very easy. Just hit it and then hit the subscribe button. How do you like the AM8 Elgar? Let me see exactly which one that one is. I know I have it. Oh, it's good. It's really good. The only thing with it is that it is a big belly bastard. So it's a great knife, super solid, good action, good fit and finish, good everything, but it's a big belly bastard. So I like a lower tip on my knives usually. So, but if you like a big belly bastard, that's a good one. It's got belly for days. Shout out to Stasa 23. Jared, how about fixed blade carry? What about it? I love fixed blade carry. I personally think, like, it depends on what you're doing and where you're at. Like, Obviously, if you're camping, hunting, fishing, you should carry the appropriate fixed blade, right? If you're out in the woods chopping and camping, you know, you need the appropriate fixed blade. But for day-to-day EDC tasks, I would say the appropriate fixed blade is going to be more of a self-defense knife. Well, EDC slash self-defense. So something that you can easily use for detailing work or for work, or you know, just to cut shit, but then also maybe you can rapidly get out of your pocket. Otherwise, why are you carrying a fixed blade? Why not just use a folder? So I think the point of getting a fixed blade is going to be, you know, to you know, get to work. Have you seen the G&G Hawk shortcut? What do you think? The shortcut? I don't know what that means. G&G and G. Let's see what this is. Oh no, this is the first time I'm seeing this. Let me show you guys. No, this is the first time I've seen this. I did not know about this. Let's check it out together. So here it is. It looks like it's a serrated utility blade that is a flipper from because this is a Serge Panchico design, I'm guessing. Maybe not, but it looks like it is. I mean, that's the G&G Hawk logo. Anyways, it might not be, but it looks like a Serge design. Looks really cool though, right? Looks like it has a flipper, just like a Serge Panchico. It's got to be a Serge Panchico design. I like it. I think it's cool. I got the other Serge Panchico. Do I have it right here? No, I don't. I have the Serge Panchico utility blade. It's awesome. It's really cool. Looks suave. I'm gonna start saying that now in my videos. It's very suave. It's their own design. You have to watch their action. Oh shit, I'll have to check it out. So it's got unique action, huh? Why do they show it in this? Can I see a video of it or anything? I don't see a video. I'll have to check it out on my own time when I can actually mess around and look for it. Because I don't want to lose all you guys trying to find it. Do you own the up knife? Yes, I do. I own a couple up knives. I'll probably be having them in a video here pretty soon too. Exactly like the Serge. Yeah, it is. Well, at least it seems. He makes it seem like there might be something unique with the action. Put up a pic of Serge's. So you can see this one is the one that I have from Serge right here. Now he also has, let me show you what he was talking about just now, is his little bean knives or whatever. Come on. Come on, you fuck. Production bean, like this. So you can see how it's got the same flipper tab. That's the only picture. So, but yeah, very, very similar. Chris Jones with the 5 bones. Let's make a rap song. I bet your favorite knife is a big one that makes you want to chop some shit. I would say no, probably not. But because I have it just depends, because like obviously my favorite knife out in the woods is going to be something like that. You know what I mean? Something that just makes you want to just start hacking shit. But for everyday carry, obviously it's not going to be that, you know, but yeah, I mean, I love all knives, really. I love all knives. That's why when people ask me what's your favorite, it's like, good luck finding that out. I don't even know that one. What is a collection knife? Who would use that unless trying to impress people that don't care about you? That is a collection knife. Who would use it? You know, you'd be surprised. So, like, I know I get this comment a lot, and you guys would be so surprised when my books are open for sharpening. I get everything: rocksteads, hinderers, you name it. Everything you could imagine comes. So that means they're using them. right? And I'm talking about like I've gotten some where they're fucked up, and you can tell like it's like, what'd you do with this? Like, why would you do whatever you did with this knife? Why don't you pick a different knife? But it's because they use their shit. So, and when it's ready, they just send it in, sharpen it up, get it back, and go back to using it. The Kubi Chariot? No, I don't think so. I'll have to check it out. I usually I'm pretty up to date with Kubis, but I don't know about that one. I do have a Kubi fixed blade right here, but it's not that kind. I don't think. I don't even know what knife it is that you're talking about, but I have this. It's just a little Karambit style fixed blade, like a little self defense knife, just a little poker. The one problem I have with it is it's just too slim, so I feel like it's gonna twist in my hand. If you used it, you'd probably just want to use it like a deterrent, or just use the knuckle and just hit, and don't even worry about the blade, because when you punch, the blade's gonna come into contact anyways. That's the way I'd probably use it. You know, where you just hit, because when you hit somebody, your hand always goes like this, always. And it goes through and goes that way, like that. So all you gotta do is just punch with it, and you're gonna do damage with the other end without even trying. Thoughts on LMAX? Love LMAX. Very similar to 20 CV and M390. Good shit. Very corrosion resistant. Holds a really good edge. As long as it's heat treated well, it's great. Yeah. Send me Instagram reel. That's cool. Jared, are you guys able to make more stickers? We have some cheap ass ones. But yeah, I'm sure we're gonna eventually. Talk to the boss, man. Talk to her, because that's her fucking shit. I don't deal in stickers. That's her duty. I got a Devo growler. I need you to sharpen for me, Jared. Middle of the edge rolled, cutting a zip tie off. That happens. That definitely happens. Yeah, as soon as my shit's open again, I will definitely announce it. Can you sharpen cold steel Marauder buoy with serrated edge? Probably not. I would say send it into a serration sharpener. I can, but I wouldn't. I've sharpened many serrated knives. I've even taught, done videos on how to do them. I just don't want to. They like, I would charge too much. Like, in most cases, like, and you guys, because this is what you guys gotta understand. I have to charge more. It doesn't make sense for me to do something and make less money than doing something else, right? Do we all agree, right? Let's just say, just for an example, I'm not saying this is what I make. Let's say you made $30 an hour, right? You wouldn't then go do a job for $10 an hour, right? So it doesn't make sense for me to do something like that without charging a lot of money for it. Like my normal sharpenings are like 30 bucks, but that price might have to go up, right? And that's for a plain edge. That's not a serrated edge. So if I do a full serrated knife, it's going to cost so much. You almost might as well just buy a new one, or send it into the factory or something like that, where they have machinery to do it. Because I'm going to freehand it. So it's not like it's going to a belt and I would most likely use files, a stone, or possibly a Dremel. But still, though, it would take me, quite a bit of time. Now, if it just needs maintenance, which you can do with serrations, I don't have a serrated knife here to show you, but do I? No, I don't think so. I have a video on it, but what you can do is, if the serrations are on this side, let's say the serrations are on this side and this side, they're not, right? Because you know how most serrations are one-sided. Go to the opposite side. So the serrations are on this side. Go to the opposite side and sharpen that side. Sharpen the steel back. What will happen is, because the serrations are pockets. They're pockets. So you can remove the steel at the tips of the serration. So picture, this is a serration, this is serration, this is the edge in between the serrations. You sharpen these back to a new point, and then this is still sharp, because usually inside the serration is still sharp. That's why serrations last so long. That's why you'll see kitchen knives that are serrated that are still sharp 10 years later. It's because the only thing that's ever come into contact with ceramic or countertops or whatever, bone and stuff like that, is the tips of the serrations. And that's why they stay sharp for so long. Yo, have you seen the PM2 buoy prototype? I don't think I have. I do not think I have. Shout out to oh, we got oh man, I always forget. Oh my goodness, I bet you fucking I didn't even think about it. We probably got people going crazy in here right now. Sorry guys. I gotta be better with my shit. Let's see here. Daniel Cad donated 10 memberships. Shout out to the new members and shout out to Daniel. Thank you, bud. I appreciate it so much. Thank you, thank you. And Richard coming in hot with the 5 bounce-skis. Thank you, Richard. I do appreciate it. Is there a knife that's assisted when opening but not assisted when closing? Actually, kind of. It's called the Mirage. So it's the Winter Blades Mirage. So what it does is it has a magnetic detent and a magnetic lock. So the magnetic detent pushes the blade. Once you break the detent, it pushes it a little bit. But when you close it, it's like closing a crossbar lock. And it's just like not having any resistance. But if you go slow and just let it drop, then yeah. But if you just give it a little flick of the wrist, you don't even feel the assist. So yes, that knife, it's called and you can watch it on my channel, the Winter Blades Mirage. It's basically an automatic, assisted, and a manual knife all in one package. Will be. Hey, brother, you've been a member for 12 months. Keep up the good work, Kara. I mean, Jared. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. I appreciate all the support. Let's get to Everyday Minimalist Tri-State blew up your giveaway video. Everyday Minimalist Tri-State. What do you mean? What do you mean they blew it up? I want a membership. Lenny, you might get one if you stick around long enough. Let's get to scent of the day. So I did have a couple fragrances the other day. So we're summertime, right? Summertime's coming. See where I'm at? We're basically underwater right now. It's that time of the year. Rainy as shit. Nasty as fuck outside. Hey, Knife Modders. Man, your lives are packed now. Thank you, man. Well, it's not too bad. It's 165 in here. That's not too bad. Shit, for that giveaway, we had like 500 people. But that's a giveaway, so it's a little different, right? You guys are all on 2 devices. Daniel with another membership. Thank you, man. I do appreciate it. Yeah, we get up to about 200 in most cases, like between like 160 and 200, usually on average. Another membership. Daniel, you're trying to fuck me up. Trying to stop me from getting the fragrance of the day. Fragrance of the day. So it is summertime. So the weather is hot, or it's about to get hot. So I figured I would talk about some summer fragrances. And these are, it was warm here too. It's warm here, but it's just, it's wet and nasty. And we've been like getting thunderstorms like crazy. And so like everything's like flooded. Anyways, but yes, it was beautiful outside. Don't get me wrong. Beautiful in the sense of the weather was warm, but it's just like when we took a walk earlier, we even had trees that were fell down. The whole yard's just underwater, like it's swampy. Anyways, summertime fragrances. So one of my all-time favorite summertime fragrances that are also affordable. So everything I pulled up is affordable fragrances. Nautica Voyage. We talked about it before. This stuff is a cucumber fragrance. So doesn't mean it smells like cucumbers. It means it has a cucumber note. Needs, what's the best way for me to DM? Just DM me. Just go to my Instagram. Just send me a DM. So Nautica Voyage, it is a very, very fresh. It's got like a hint of cucumber in it that with the freshness, it's really good. It's a shower jelly, fresh out of the shower, super clean, fresh scent, very affordable, and it actually lasts a long time. This is one you can spray on, it's going to last all day. And for the money, it's probably the best bang for your buck fragrance you can get. It's a summertime fragrance. I would not recommend wearing it in the winter. I wouldn't recommend wearing it in the cold, but as long as it's summertime, springtime, summertime, maybe a little bit of fall, this is the way to go. I'm telling you, it is fucking fire. It smells absolutely amazing. And every time I spray this, I've never, well, maybe a couple times, but I've almost never sprayed this and put this on without getting a compliment. Almost never. Even if it's from my girl, but it's not even just that. Back in the day, because this has been around for a little while, I used to wear it everywhere I went. I even had a dude stop me. I had a guy stop me one time. And he was like, dude, I got to know what you're wearing, man. And he wrote it down and everything. Now, another one that I have a few. I want to show you guys a few. I have some of them linked down in the description. If they're not linked, then you're just going to have to type them in. Another one that has a similar vibe to this, same thing, summertime fragrance, Mercedes Move. Mercedes Move. It is a sweet, fresh fragrance. So it has again, a fresh shower jelly, fresh out of the shower scent, like something you can expect like from like a man's like shampoo or something. That type. I'm not saying it smells like that. I'm saying that type of scent with a little bit of sweetness, a tiny bit of powderiness, and it's so fresh. It's so good. This one is another one. It's a banger. It lasts a long time, and it's absolutely amazing. I don't know. I think I did link it down in the description. So I think. Now another one. This one's very, very affordable. Actually, yeah, I have a couple more. So this one is AQUA KENZO. Now this one has a mint note in it. So and also a lipstick note. Now, hear me out. It doesn't smell like lipstick. I personally don't like that scent. So there's a lipstick note that's in a lot of fragrances that is very popular and a lot of people like them. And I've bought some of the ones that are like all that, and I hate them. I hate them. I absolutely hate them. I have this one bottle. I've sprayed it. I'm disgusted by it, but people love it for some reason. I don't know how. It smells like burning lipstick. This just has a note of lipstick in it, but the rest of it is fresh, sweet, a tiny hint of mint. It's got something else in it that just makes it stand out. A little bit of citrus, a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of powder, a little bit of lipstick, a little bit of mint. It's fire. It's absolutely fire. But problem is, it doesn't last very long. So this is going to be one. Put it on your clothing and it'll last. Any fragrance, if you put it on your clothing, it'll last a lot longer. On skin is where they die down the fastest. But the first two we talked about will last all day. This one, you're going to want to replace it after about 5 hours. Now, I have one more, but I don't want to talk about it because I couldn't find it. Actually, you could probably find. No, fuck it. We'll just stop there. I was going to talk about the David Beckham cologne because it's so cheap. It's so cheap, and it's got a similar vibe to these other summer fragrances, but it's just another fresh shower gel fragrance. There's nothing special about it, but it's all these fragrances. The beauty of all the ones, you guys can check out the description. They're all crowd pleasers. Nobody will smell these and say these stink. Nobody, especially the first two I said. There is absolutely no possible way anybody can smell these and say these smell bad. Like, they absolutely are bangers. Everybody loves them. They're crowd pleasers, no matter if you're a girl, guy, anything in between. It's good shit. All right, guys, let's get to story time. I remember Michael Jordan cologne. So, yeah, man, Tommy Hilfiger had some good shit. There's been a lot of great fragrances, but remember, those fragrances, they're not the ones making them. It's like Paco Rabanne and like other very, very well-known fragrance makers that are making them. Damn, that smells so fucking good, man. Daniel Cad on another 5 bones. Got to step out, hit it and run. Business called, everyone. Sayonara, bud. Thank you for coming in and thank you for all the donations. I do appreciate the donations. Hello, all. New to Knives and just got a Civivi Elementum button lock with Damascus. Oh, yeah. And carbon fiber scales. Hell yeah. Great knife, man. I love. Wait, did you got this button lock, right? Because they have the regular one now, but this one is the best one for button locks. They have the regular flipper button lock now, and I know people love that, but I love the size of this one. I love everything about this knife. I love the profile, love the thickness, love the grind, love the blade shape. It's such a useful tool. All right, let's see here. Just make sure I didn't miss nothing. Nuga Knife says, are you into flashlights at all? I have tons of videos on flashlights. I've been looking for a cool flashlight, a cool flashlight, but can't make up my mind. So check out these guys. I do just go to my store, okay? Neevesknives store down in the description and type in Ace Beam. Ace Beam. These guys, these are both titanium. They're really good and probably the best bang for your buck as far as power and titanium goes from a flashlight. So Ace Beam, really, really good titanium flashlights. I'm going to get some more from them. And like here, check this one out really quick. This one you can actually change. So you see how this one has the clip on it? Well, what you can do is you can pop that over like that and it'll slide down just like that. Well, if you take the clip off, the whole thing will slide out. And now you have a thinner, slimmer aluminum flashlight. But you can always put the sleeve back on because this is a titanium sleeve. So it's like the best of both worlds. And you can put the clip back on if you want, and just want to have it aluminum. This one doesn't do that, but it does still have a badass clip. They're both rechargeable. This one's just big, bulkier, a little bit more of a self-defense flashlight. They're both really bright. They're both great flashlights, man. I think this one's $650 and this one's $1,000 or something. Probably says on here, but anyways, go check out my video. I'm not sure. No, you know what? I just put it in a video. I don't think you'll find it, but you can check them out on Amazon. Just go to my store down in the description and type in Ace Beam flashlights. You'll find them. This one is the E70 Mini, and this one is the Rapid RX. Sorry, I'm just trying to put them back. I like to keep them in the packages because we are trying to keep things organized now. We've recently, and we still have a lot to do. We got a whole new system of how we're organizing stuff, and I don't want to fuck shit up. All right, let's get to story time. All right, been using an Olight Warrior 3S full cap. Yeah, Olight does a really good job too. I love Olight too. They do a really good job. They always have sales, so if you're gonna buy one, wait for a sale. Just wait for a sale. There's always one around the corner. You're kind of dumb. Robbie Vaughn's probably my favorite for small micro lights. I have tons of them. I bet you I have one within reach. I bet you I do. I can't see it, but I bet you I do somewhere. Anyways, the Robbie Vaughn's are absolutely amazing. They are the brightest you're gonna get for a micro light. 650 lumens for like, you can even get 700 lumens for like a little tiny ass little light like that. And they actually are that bright. A lot of flashlights say they're that bright, but then they're not. Robbie Vaughn, they're amazing. But that's if you want a little micro light. They make big lights too, which I have a couple of their decent sized ones, which are equally as good. I always recommend Robbie Vaughn. No. Go to the store and just go to the top and search Ace Beam flashlights. It'll pop up. Here, I'll just do it for you. Give me 1 second. One second. Ooh. So I'm just going to pop one on the screen. This is the one I was talking about, but you can hit the link and then you can search, or you know what, here, I'll just get you the whole store. How about that? Let's take the whole store. Here we go, buddy. Here you go. There's the link to their store. Thank you for using my link. But also, while you're in that store, you can always go up to the top and you can type in Robbie Vaughn. That's another good company. I got some Surefires right here, but Surefires are USA made and they're so expensive and they're not as bright as some of these other ones. They're still bright, don't get me wrong, but they're nowhere near as bright as these other ones. That's the only thing with them. But you know what they are, though? They are resilient. So, like, on your firearms, on your guns, self-defense wise, I would trust Surefire more than any other company. But as far as just having a good EDC, maybe even a little self-defense bright ass light, I want something brighter. And they're expensive too. throwing what? Knife biting for us? I don't know what that means. Okay, so let's get to story time. So we said we were gonna do story time. I haven't hit it yet. Mike Elmer's doing a live soon. So I was gonna tell a story. I actually was gonna pull up this guy's shit so I can show you the neighborhood, because that one cop has this exact neighborhood on his channel. So I just don't know if I could find it fast enough. Well, you know what? Actually, let me give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna try to find it here. Give me 1 second, guys. Then, sorry, guys. Um, I'm trying to find his Instagram really quick. And there it is. Oh, no, it's not it. Where the hell is he? I hate Instagram. I'm like literally starting to fucking hate it. Can't even find it. Anyways, I'm trying to show you guys this. I'll just show you guys this part. So what I'm trying to show you is this guy's Instagram. He has on his Instagram, if I can find it, he has videos of the neighborhood that I'm about to talk about. Like literally you can see it. And I was gonna spin you guys around and show you guys exactly what I was talking about. But I'm trying to find it right now. So just give me 1 second. I'm gonna try it one more time. Sorry, guys. I hate that I'm sitting here looking for something while you guys are fucking around. Let me turn down the volume really quick so you guys can't hear this. See if I can find his Instagram and his thing. So anyway, so what I was going to tell you a story about was this neighborhood, and I grew up in this neighborhood, or it's one of the neighborhoods I grew up in. Why does he not put his Instagram on his shit? Idiot. You guys should always link your Instagrams in your videos so it's easy to find, man. Instagram's becoming hell finding things. Anyways, so I used to live in this apartment building, and on the corner, I've told this story a little bit before. I'm gonna go jump around a little bit. So there's gonna be a couple stories involved. That's why I wanted to show you guys this video, because there's a video and it like kind of spins a little bit and you can see the neighborhood I'm talking about. That guy's a detective in the neighborhood. That's why um he's been in this neighborhood. He patrols this neighborhood and he goes and tries to play with the kids and stuff. So it's awesome. He does a lot with the youth. Um gang banging story. I'm on board. So this is a story about my dad, this one. So this is where we're going to start, but we have a couple. So we're going to jump around. It's all in this exact area though. So like, that's why I wanted to show it to you, because it's literally every story is involved in this exact little area. So my dad, we used to live in this apartment building, and it was the second story, right? Second floor, you know, you took stairs up to the second story, and there was a balcony that goes all the way around. And when you're out on this balcony, you can look over the projects. So like you can literally look all the way, you can look as far as you can see both ways. And there's apartment buildings across the street. There's a basketball court. There's some shops across the street, like a car dealer at the time. And then my uncle's shop and a couple other shops and blah, 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 blah. But across the street, there's the basketball court. And on the basketball court, every day in the summer, everybody's out there playing ball, right? And they're fighting and scrapping and, you know, playing ball and just having a good time. Some of them are kids, some of them are adults. Doesn't matter. My dad would take because my dad used to buy large amounts of dynamite, so he always had dynamite on deck, always. And he would take, and also, by the way, my dad was a he was an elite. I don't know how to say it, but he was basically an elite archery guy. Like he was a professional archery guy. Like he was so good at shooting a bow. I was actually in archery leagues too when I was younger. My dad was on another level. He was so good. He wound up switching hands and shooting left-handed because he heard that you could get better by doing that. Great hunter, great everything, won competitions, all kinds of shit. Anyway, so he had this bow and arrow, right? And he would take the dynamite and he would duct tape the dynamite to the arrow. And we would sit on the balcony and he'd get it ready and he'd pull it back and he'd hold it and he'd tell me, because he'd give me a lighter right before, and he'd be like, he'd tell me to light it, So like I'd be sitting there with a lighter, little ass kid, lighting his dynamite while he fucking shot this dynamite over the projects. And it would go up so high and then boom, it'd blow up like 50 feet in the air. So nobody's going to get hurt. Let me just be clear. Nobody's getting hurt, but they are getting scared because it's the projects. So that big boom fucking makes everybody run. So it'd be like, boom, everybody would like hit the ground and then just scatter, because dynamite, when it goes off, you feel it in your chest. Like you fucking feel that shit. So when it's above you, it's a little different. Like you feel the shock wave come down. And like I said, everybody hit the ground on the basketball court and then just scatter. You just see them running everywhere. My dad would be laughing his ass off. And he'd do that like once every couple weeks, maybe not every couple weeks, but he'd do it every once in a while. I remember me and him did it a few times. Yes, on Galilee. Yeah. That's my cousin Breeze. And but the funny thing was just that there would be so many people out there, like 50, 100 people all out on the basketball court. So when they're running, they're knocking each other over trying to get away. And it's just, obviously. But another story from that exact same neighborhood was the apartments that were directly across the street, kitty corner. One time the building was on fire. It burnt down actually at one time. So it's on fire and like blazing, fucking blazing. It's a brick building. So it's all brick. So it's burning from the inside. And there's somebody on, I think it's a 3-story building. There's somebody on the 3rd story that they're in, the place is burning. There's nothing they can do. They can't go back. So they're hanging out their window, like screaming. And they're trying to get help. And the fire department's not there yet. Nobody's there yet. A guy walks by. This is sad. This is kind of sad. It's kind of fucked up. This guy walks by, and maybe he meant it. I don't think he did. I don't know. I don't know what was going through his head. But he goes by and he goes, "Jump, I'll catch you." Right? "Jump, I'll catch you." Dude jumps, and dude was like gets the fuck away from there. Like, I don't know if he meant to do that and like was just kidding, or if he like just got scared right when he jumped because he didn't think maybe he would. I don't know what he thought, but he moved out of the way. Dude hit the ground like a sandbag. I mean, just like hit the ground hard. Flight for Life came and wound up getting him. I don't know if he lived or whatever happened to him. I have no idea. But he was fucked up. Like I said, once he hit the ground, he never moved. Like Flight for Life had to come pick him up, get him the hell out of there. So I'm guessing he was injured pretty bad, because when he jumped, the way he jumped wasn't like, if it was me, I would hang and then fall down, right? Climb out and hang, and then you don't have as far to drop. He just, so he landed on his back. Yes, this is story time. So that building wound up being abandoned for quite a while until, because just in the it's Section 8 apartments, so like of course they're not going to be fixed right away. So it took a little while, but eventually now they're back up and going. You can see actually that exact, or I think it's the exact building in that video I was going to show you guys. But anyway, so another story is, there's these buildings, because it's an apartment project. So it's all Section 8 apartments. It goes apartment, just in a row, right? And in between the apartments, they're probably 15 feet, maybe, from one to the other, right? So, and then each one has 3 doors. So there's 3 doors per building in a whole bunch of building, 6 apartments in each. So I think it's 6. So, in between the buildings, lots of times shit would happen. Like when there'd be drive-bys and stuff, a lot of times they would shoot in between the buildings. So if you go to the other side of the neighborhood, they actually have the roads blocked off with barricades so that you can't drive down in there, because there'd be so many people, committing drive-bys and shit like that. So they just stop people from driving in between the buildings. Not even pizza delivery drivers could go back there. Like you have to stop and then walk. Anyways, so in between these buildings, like I said, shit would happen, and that's where everybody is, right? Because you're in between the buildings. And this one time I was over there, and I'm in between the buildings with a bunch of people, like just whoever lives there, right? It's a lot of people I don't know, but I know the person I'm with. I'm with like one or two friends, and they're over at their other friends, and like we're just kind of hanging out. And there's this guy standing not far away from us, like in the same like spot, but like not right next to us, like a little like a door or two down, a couple doors down, because they're like there would be like different people, like so like this person's outside their place, we're outside our place, kind of like that, right? So there's this guy standing outside, and this other dude comes around the corner, and we just looked at him, like not thinking anything of it. He just turns the corner and he walks over by dude, walks up behind him, and pulls out a shank or knife of some sort, and just bow, 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 gets him right in the back. And you knew exactly what was happening. So right away when it happened, everybody starts running. And a lot of times people wonder, why does everybody run? Why does everybody run? Why is it like a huge thing? Well, everybody just scatters. The reason why is because there's so many times where something like that happens, and their homie or them or somebody else will start shooting. So it's really quick where bullets start flying. That's how people get shot all the time that are innocent, that aren't even a part of it. So because like this could, like any second shots could be fired. Like what if the guy who's getting stabbed has a gun? What if his partner's right there has a gun? So as soon as that starts happening, everybody just scatters, takes off. I don't know what happened to dude. I don't know if he lived, died. I have no idea. He probably lived. I don't know. I didn't know him. But anyways, but yeah, it was crazy though. It was crazy. He got shanked up pretty damn good. We got the fuck out of there though. Obviously. But another one. Hello. What is that? When When I when I do, I will post pics on Instagram and send some to Jerry and Kara. Okay. Thanks, Cheeto. What was another story? There was another. Oh yeah. I was gonna tell this drive-by at the car dealership. So these people, I'm not gonna say who owned it, but there was this person that owned the car dealership across the street, directly in front of my building. So like my door's right here. I can look outside, I look at a car dealership. And one day this I'm out there on the balcony just leaning, because I always was out there on the balcony, and this car comes creeping by. All right, it comes creeping by, goes around a circle, then comes back and pulls out a gun and starts shooting up the car lot. All right. And it's like, why would you shoot up the car lot, right? You start thinking like, does he have beef with another car dealership? You start thinking like, is this beef between two car dealerships? Like, you don't know, right? Does he owe money to somebody? But this was the funny part. The car drives by, shoots at the car dealership, then goes back around the block and comes back. He didn't leave. He literally went around the block and came back and shot it up for a second time. It was the only time I think in my life where I seen two drive-bys by the same guy at the same exact time. Like he was like, he didn't hit what he wanted or something. I don't know. But it was kind of funny. We're just standing up there watching, kind of laughing. Anyways. Oh, Lone Star says he got shot on the border of Texas and Louisiana. That sucks. No good. No good. Tell us more about. Wait. Tell us about one where you shot a border jumper. I never shot a border jumper. But that's funny. He found another clip on the floor. right. Yeah, he found another magazine on the floor where I was like, we didn't empty this one. No, I don't know why. Obviously, I don't know why. But I remember when the police came, they were super confused too, because the car dealership obviously had to call the cops. They have to do insurance, So the cops came for this. So the cops showed up, investigated, whatever. But they were even like kind of confused. You could tell, like, why? Like, why? Because they shot the cars mostly. I'm sure they hit the building a few times too, obviously the buildings there, because it's like a little building with cars all around it, car lot, but the cars were mostly what got shot up, so they got to take the insurance claim and shit. What's up, Jarvis? Were they holding the gun sideways? No, it was a rifle, actually. It was a rifle. So, they were holding out like that. So it wasn't a pistol in that case. Um, since your wife is into knives as well, does she yell like mine when you flip your knife? So she has, but not really. She's pretty much used to it. I think you just got to keep doing it, and eventually their ears get so used to it, they're just normal. They're normalized to it. They actually don't like it when you stop. But yes, she's definitely said stuff. Stop flicking that knife. Um, had to be someone they sold a lemon to. They sold a lot of lemons out of there. Let me think of another one. Oh man, I got so many here in this one. I've seen a lot of drive-bys in this neighborhood. I've seen a lot of everything. I one time watched them search for a baby, uh, which was pretty bad. A baby wound up getting murdered, and they suspected that the mother and the boyfriend did it, which they did, and they had them in custody, like questioning them, and at the same time were like searching everything, right? So like cops are everywhere. I've never at this time, remember, they're looking for a missing child. So, and this wasn't like just any missing child, they're looking for a missing child that's most likely murdered. So this was like the biggest search I ever seen, like in that neighborhood. And like there were so many, they were everywhere, searching everything, garbage cans, under cars, like searching like under bushes and stuff, like literally looking for places that things were buried. They wound up finding the baby in a backpack in one of the dumpsters that they had already searched. So they searched the dumpster. So the guy must have ditched the baby after they had searched that dumpster, thinking they wouldn't come back to it, but they did. They came back and searched it for a second time. Jared, have you ever put a knife through the wash? Oh yeah. I put everything through the wash. I try to wash my knives at least once a week. No, I'm just joking. But yes, I have many, many times. Migaron is doing the Moriaro and titanium. That's awesome. I can't wait for that. My old lady gets me all the time about flipping my knives. I keep trying to tell her they're adult fidget toys, but she doesn't buy it. You just gotta, you get her used to it. Just get her used to it. Once she gets used to it, it'll just be second nature. She won't know any better. It's just the way the sound of the world is. Moyarl is a fan with a tastic throne in it. Okay. My wife wanted a new watch for her birthday. I told her no, and she said I would get her a new knife. She asked why I wouldn't get her a watch, and I told her because there's a clock on the stove. You got a clock on your phone, but you don't have a knife, so let's get you one of those. Oh man, what's another one? So okay, here's one. I got one. One time, we're sleeping. This is in the middle of the night, and there's a party going on 2 doors down, and my this guy that we knew lived there was gone. I don't know where he was or what he was doing. I think he was he was in jail. He was in jail. So his daughters were just going ape shit, right? Throwing parties, and they were, they were teenagers and stuff, maybe like lower 20s or something. And they were throwing all these parties. And so in the middle of the night, my dad got woken up by this fucking party. And on our balcony, it is packed with gangbangers and just like all over the place, right? My dad comes out with his shotgun and his whitey tighties. Whitey tighties and a shotgun, and throws 3 rounds in the air. Bow, bow, bow. And starts screaming at him. If one more motherfucker wakes me up, blah, blah, blah. Everybody started leaping over. This is a tall balcony. Like if you just jump, you're gonna get hurt. You gotta at least jump down onto one of the things that go above doors. Or I actually seen guys jumping onto trees, because there's this one side where there's trees. There's guys jumping and hanging from the trees, trying to like bend them to go down. There was a roof next door. They were jumping on the roof and running off of that. They literally scattered like crazy, and it was hilarious. It was so funny. And my dad was like so proud of himself afterwards. Like so proud of himself. It's amazing he didn't get shot back at, but I don't think he was worried about that. But yeah, that motherfucker. Oh man, Especially for like a party like that, like when a shotgun goes off that close to everybody, oh man, like you feel that shit. Especially with him and he, you know, angry white guy and fucking whitey tighties, like you're even crazier, right? It's like if he was fully dressed, it probably wouldn't have left the impression of being naked. Oh, that's hilarious. Migrin just dropped a brand new titanium Curix 3 versions. I know I want to get one of those. I really do. I got right now, you guys already seen it probably, the new Karaki. I think it's awesome. Is this just Big Daddy? Only story time. You definitely don't mess with a man holding a 12 gauge. Yes, and it was a 12 gauge. Yeah, especially in whitey tighties. Wow. What is a roof? Okay, a roof. Fucker. But yeah, it's it sometimes, like with my dad, it was kind of weird because people, they kind of just knew him, so they knew he was crazy as fuck, so they didn't really fuck around. There were a couple times things happened, but for the most part, they kind of knew, like, don't fuck with him, because he'd do crazy ass shit. And you know, obviously, but also a lot of them knew him and were really cool with him because they knew him. So it was different, you know, when you live in the same neighborhood, you kind of show a little bit of respect to each other, half-ass, you know, like the neighbors, you know, would watch his cars and stuff, make sure nobody stole them, even though we did get our car stolen a couple times, but for the most part, they're pretty cool. And then he'd do the same back to them. Jude Grant, thank you for the 5 bones. Sharpening my crew wear in Delo right now. Should I put a mirror polish on it or leave it satin? Crew wear, go 15 degrees, mirror polish. That's what I would do. For crew wear holds a fine edge better than anything. It takes a great medium grit edge though, if you want a toothy edge. But if you want a polished edge, fucking crew wear does a really good job with a polished edge. Just the bump of a shotgun, that sound usually gets people attention. Yeah. I ordered 2 Sitiviens. I returned one, and the second, an M390 titanium carbon fiber for less than 80, turned out legit. I bet they go for 150 when they saw. This is one of those. I don't know if it's the exact same one, but this is M390 titanium Sitivien, and I love it. I think it's great. The action's amazing. Look at this action. And it's solid. Rock solid lockup. The flipper tab's nice and comfortable. It flips like a beast. The titanium's done really well. It's beautiful. Great job on this one, Sitivien. Were you around for the rack collapse on the dually? I don't think so. I'm trying to think. On the black dually? I'm trying to think. I don't think so. I don't think I was around for that one. At least I don't remember. I can't recall. I remember a lot of things collapsing though. I remember one time, Breeze, I was working for Miko. All right. I don't want to say too many names, but you'll know who I'm talking about. I was working for Miko, and it was my first time ever working with him, right? First time ever working with him. And we were going out wherever onto the job, and he had the big box fan. So I'm in the box van, sitting in between on a bucket, fucking one guy in the driver's seat, one guy in the passenger seat, me on a bucket trying to hang on, fucking going to the job site. And we get to a railroad, ding, 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 ding. And these guys are working on the railroad. Well, he goes to go over it, and the things start coming down when he's going over it. So when he goes to go over it, he hits it and just tears off the fucking the ding 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 arms, right? Just rips it right off. And then stops. These guys are working on it. Remember, these guys are working on this. He accuses them of doing it on purpose. So they're pissed at him, like, what the fuck is your problem? Why would you just drive through our gate? And he's looking at him like, it was up, you lowered it, and you made it hit me on purpose. And he gets out, and Breeze, he was a big motherfucker, and he was a pretty scary dude to a lot of people. At least, you know, these guys. So he gets out, spitting, cussing, ready to fight, like just going nuts. And these guys, like at first they were like, let me see your license or whatever. Like they were cops, even though they weren't, they were railroad workers. And when he starts snapping, they instantly just like backed up and like kind of ran away. Like they were like, get the fuck away from this guy. This guy is a nutcase. Like, you want my license? Come over here and get it. Fucking just going crazy. And it's crazy because it was all his fault. It was all his fault. Nothing was those guys' fault. Like they were just working. That's it. And he fucking drives right through their railing and then blames it on them for doing that. But that type of shit happened a few times with him. I remember one time him and the old man got into a fight because me and Chris were in the back of the old Blazer. Kenny's old Blazer. We were in the back of Kenny's old Blazer throwing pennies. He was following behind us and we're throwing pennies at his car, right? Just a piece of shit car, nothing special. And he was so mad when we pulled up. He jumped out and came after me and Chris, like freaking out, like came after us. And the old man got out and fucking met him at the back of the truck, the I think it was a Bronco. Or was it a Blazer? I think it was a Blazer, old Blazer, the old ass ones. Met him in the back and fucking grabbed him up by the throat, slammed him to the truck. He started snapping. I don't know if they went around like the building, and I think they scrapped it out because they were snapping right there in front of us. And like I said, the old man like grabbed him up by the throat and was like cussing at him. He was cussing back. They were in each other's face, and they walked over next to the house. And maybe they were just doing a deal. I don't know, because remember, he was following us, so it could have just been a deal. But yeah, exactly. Yes. Oh, yeah. That's the exact one. We were in the back, you know, and you could throw stuff out the back window. We were throwing pennies out there. Not enough men around these days. It's so easy for them to be. Yes, I agree. I 100% agree. Have you noticed every Karen male and female these days is happy to be an enforcer for the state? I mean, I just, you know, I try not to be around. I mean, I think obviously you want to, it depends on what you mean by enforcer of the state, but yeah, I think we all want to protect our towns, our neighborhoods, our cities and stuff, but you just got to do it, you know, the right way and do it like men, you know? So Mike Emler just went live. I know he's doing a giveaway, guys. Don't forget to go over there to Mike Emler's live. He's doing a live giveaway. You guys can go over there and win some stuff. So go over there. Maybe somebody can link his YouTube in the description, right? Or sorry, in the comments right now. Can you guys link that for me so these guys can go over there and check it out? Go win some knives. I have no idea what he's giving away. The railroad needs to name them. Ding, ding, ding arms. I don't know the fucking arms, the guardrails, the ding, ding, ding guardrails. That's what I'm going to call them. That's funny, though. You're hilarious. Just visited Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Recently got into knives. I live about 2 hours away from there. Lots of money going to be spent soonish. Love your sharpening videos. Just picked up a Work Sharp Elite system. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, and listen, guys, just not to promote myself or anything, but everything I put in the description are all 99.99% of the time it's an affiliate link. So anytime you see videos of me talking about the knives, sharpening systems, whatever, most of the stuff is linked in the description. And if you're going to buy it, I do appreciate it if you use my link. It helps the channel. So when I'm showing something, right, and you want to buy it, right, whether, you know, if it's good or whatever, and you like it, check out the description, use the link. I do appreciate it. Now, also, if there's other things like day to day, you have stuff that you want to get from Amazon or whatever, use my affiliate store. My Neevesknives store is an Amazon account. You can just click on it and you can type whatever you want. It'll take you wherever to Amazon. So if you're going to buy something from Amazon, use the affiliate link. Like I said, all this stuff helps the channel massively. So, you know, I do appreciate it when you guys are making knife purchases. I have Blade HQ down there, GP Knives, Knives Ship Free, Blade Ops, all these Original Goat, KAVISO, all these badass companies gave me an affiliate link. So anytime you're buying a knife from them, use my affiliate link. I greatly appreciate it. So first off, I love you guys. Thank you guys for all the support. Shout out to the Patreons. If you have not signed up, or if you have not entered the giveaway, make sure you do. Most of you have entered, but a lot of you have not. So make sure you enter if you have not. We're going to be pulling that in a couple days. Shout out to everybody who won the giveaway last week or the other day. Congratulations to you guys, and thank you guys for all the support. I love you guys. Peace. Oh, and thank you guys for all the donations tonight. I do appreciate it. How to enter? How to enter what? Mike's live or Mike's giveaway? Just go over to his channel. He'll tell you how. He's probably just going to make you say something. But for the Patreons, you just got to leave a comment on Patreon or on YouTube, but as a Patreon. Anyways, peace.